right? Because now it goes to a narrative that Diddy got these people out of their minds to create some weird fetish that was pretty much commercial sex acts that pretty much is sex trafficking. But if these people are completely with it, which, by the way, we've heard about Cassie setting up these wild king, well, she called them freak-offs, or they called them freak-offs, and Jane Doe setting up these wild king nights, as they called it, or hotel nights. So before this shit starts, it seems like they're participating, right? Because they're getting supplies. I got to go get my nails done for the wild king night. I got to go do this. I got to go get my hair done, whatever, right? Jane Doe talked about looking good for Diddy during these nights. However, if in the actual video, she's just like, just going through the motions, I ain't gonna lie, Diddy's gonna look crazy. Sorry.
Maybe the prosecutors opened the door to this by having the case turn on it. I'm not.
Somebody says Ak is obsessed with what Diddy does. Oh my God, brother, we're covering a sex fucking case. You have to understand, the jury's about to see videos. They haven't seen them they've seen stills of them. They've heard some audio. They haven't watched the Freakoff videos till now. They weren't going to put them on when the victims are on the stand. That's re-victimizing a alleged victim. So what I'm telling y'all, if you heard, like, brother, get your mind out of the fucking gutter, brother. If you heard that somebody got raped and it's on motherfucking camera and you could watch the video, granted, you're not there, you're going to look for certain things. Is she saying no? Clearly in this situation, they all said they never said no. Not in the moment. So you're looking for little subtle signs. Like, I'm thinking as we're a juror, you're probably saying, does she look a little hesitant? Does she look out of it? Does she look drugged? Does she look scared? Brother, these are not like, this is a fucking sex case. Whoever says I'm obsessed with whatever Diddy does. I don't give a fuck what Diddy does. He's a fucking bati boy. You get what I'm saying? The point is, to try to explain what's happening right now is that they're watching Freakoff videos. And as a juror, what I would be looking for, does this woman look like she's in her right mind? She's making her own decisions. She's like completely complicit. Does she look like she's scared? Does she look like she's enjoying it? Like, you have to look at these things. What do you think they're looking at the videos for? To see how long Diddy's dick is? What the fuck? That's the point.
Not sure how much of it turns on it, but the defense has every right to cross-examine, and so that's what they're doing. They say they have another hour to go. So
here's the thing too. Remember, Diddy's team came out before and he said, yo, we have many videos that show Cassie having a lot of fun. Now, that's subjective, Chad. Someone having a lot of fun in a sexual experience, but they said this before trial, that in the videos, the Freakoff videos the government were trying to present, they said Cassie was elated and having the most fun. So I have to imagine they're going to counter, they're going to cross, right, with trying to have some videos of Cassie seemingly taking charge, Cassie seemingly making most of the decisions, Cassie seemingly almost trying to paint it like that's Cassie's king too, you know? Same thing with Jane Doe.
it appears that we might not actually, this long-promised Brendan Paul witness, if anything, will start just very briefly today. And does this mean the government can rest on Wednesday? Unclear. But what we can say is as follows, that before court this morning, Judge Subramanian, very upset about some reporting about another juror issue. And again, here's what I can say. We've gone out of our way ever since various threats made about an exhibit they showed about Mia, other issues around the...
Yeah, so there was an issue that got brought up. We never really touched on it too much. So in one of the exhibits they showed, remember these people have pseudonyms. Mia, pseudonym. Jane Doe, pseudonym. Cassie's going by her real name. So in the exhibits you put out, Cassie's face could be shown. But with Mia, you can't show her face. So remember when they admitted that video of Mia where she says, "Happy birthday, Puff." And she's like, remember? Sarah Snedker, Diddy, happy birthday. This video right here. Apparently, because it was so choppy on how this got done, this supposedly got entered. It was supposed to be under seal. It's supposed to be under seal. It wasn't really under seal, or I don't know if it was classified, but it was a mistake. But supposedly this was put in a docket that showed her face. It defeats the whole purpose of her going by the name Mia. So this video was shown or available to the press as her face, where, yes, you could see these people, like, there's nothing blocking her face in court, but you cannot report on it and they won't put it in the docket as these people. It's got to be on their seal. So this got fucked up and it was this video.
Shameless plug. Gotta put my lip gloss on. Poppin'! Puff Daddy, the living legend himself. You have not only revolutionized the game, but the entire world. I'm so blessed to call you my friend. Thank you for truly being one of the biggest inspirations in my life. To another 44 years of brilliance. Let's fuck shit up.
Okay. Now, that's one of the videos that caused problems with the pseudonym thing. Also, there's been alleged rumors that there's bloggers in court that's leaving court and texting other people who these people who have pseudonyms are, right? And they're alluding to them. I won't mention necessarily the names of these bloggers that are supposedly there, but they're saying that, right? And then also they said people found out online. They might be talking about maybe even our broadcast. We don't know. But they're trying to protect these people as much as they can.
The gender of Jane's child. Now, so we're not getting into this whole juror, other than Juror 6, of course, on which we'll have more. Of course, we did report. He was a Department of Corrections employee. This is all public. It's a public trial. So, again, I don't know. I'm not sure what's accomplished by not being at least transparent on what the issues are. If not, obviously, we don't have the names of the jurors. We don't want the names of the jurors. I don't know.
So they got rid of Juror 6 because they lied that they lived in the Bronx, but apparently they stayed with their girl in Jersey. They said that was enough to get him off. Diddy's team is mad because they're like, yo, that's a black juror. We need that black juror. They're like, listen, lack of candor issues. We got to get him out of there. Diddy's team said, okay, if you're going to get him out of there, we need a black juror to replace. The judge said, I can't make the decision based on race because previously you said that race wasn't a thing when we had a balanced juror. So we're going to get the first alternate. The first alternate's not black. So the person who got eliminated, the first alternate takes their place. They're not black. However, there's now more issues, and apparently this is with Juror 7. So there's another issue with another juror, and there's potentially 2 more other jurors. Well, not 2 more, 1 more. So it would be 2 other jurors other than 6 who got eliminated that there's potential issues with, and you have to understand what's happening here, chat. It's coming down to the wire. And each team, as I said, they have people that they're paying to watch these jurors the entire trial. And they're trying to get either a conviction or a acquittal. And they realize who the problematic people are. And the prosecution got to win by getting one of the jurors that could have sided maybe for Diddy off the jury box or out of the jury box. Now Diddy's team is like, okay, shit, we got to try to get one of them that might not be for us out of there too. So they're playing like this chess game, you know?
Seems to breed more.
But the judge, they're doing it in chambers and in the Robin room, and they're not saying what the fuck the issues are. So they're not like spelling out the issues that we fully know. They'll come in court later on and just have like a final hearing.
Conspiracy theories than it just being transparent would. But that's how it goes. Look, we have the walk. This is gonna be an extended vlog because we have an extended lunchtime in the middle of an extended video session there in the Southern District of New York. Brendan Paul should go. Then they have yet another summary witness, which I'm sure is going to be cross-examined in excruciating detail by the defense. As well they should. Now, supposedly the defense case is going to be much shorter than they'd said, or than some had surmised. Definitely doesn't seem that the defendant himself will take the stand, although he retains that right to the very last minute. This, ladies and gentlemen, is Chinatown. Very glad to be out of the court after kind of a thing. There are other things going on.
Okay, I want to get to this. Argument. I can't see it. Okay. Jury not brought in. There's a second jury issue. Anything before bring the juries in. Let Combs in. I believe your client would like 10 minutes to review materials. Can I ask him that question? So Mr. Combs waives his right to be present for the immunity application. So they bring Brendan Paul in, and Brendan Paul takes a stand. He said, did you receive a subpoena? Yes. Do you intend to invoke the Fifth Amendment right? He says yes. So he's given an immunity. The judge says, I'll enter it. Thank you, Mr. Paul. So Mr. Paul now has immunity, and they're going to bring Penland on. But we don't see much from Inner City Press about this idea that there's this drama, which is what's going on with the jury or the judge reaming out the prosecutors or the defense for leaking certain shit. So let me see Lauren Conlin. Maybe Lauren Conlin got it. Okay, she's here.
It is day 26 of the United States versus Sean Combs, and the judge is not very happy today. We started the day off by the judge really admonishing both the defense and the government over sealed information that was somehow leaked to the press. We don't know exactly what this information is. I have a feeling that it has to do with the second juror. There seemed to be a second juror issue that was not relayed to the press at all. It was discussed in the robing room in private, and I think there was a media outlet that put out an article about this. Now, I don't know for sure that this is the issue. I am just speculating, so hopefully we will find out. But
okay, that would make sense. So they're having these like ex parte, well, not ex parte because all the parties are present, but it's outside of the court, so it's not on the record. And actually, there is a record of it, but it's not on public record, at least at this point. Because even if I don't know if you guys know, even when they meet in the chambers, the court reporter has to be there. So the court reporter is always there when they're talking. The court reporter is going to take notes of what's being talked about. It's not going to be filed. So you have Diddy's lawyers. Sometimes you'll have Diddy. You'll have the judge. You'll have the prosecutor. And in this case, sometimes you might even have the juror. If the juror's there, they won't have Diddy there, but they'll have his lawyers. But they won't tell us what it is. Let's see what media outlet. Maybe it's TMZ. I think it's TMZ. Let's look at TMZ. Diddy juror. Here we go. Is it this? Yes, this is yesterday. Diddy's trial. Sources with direct knowledge tells us. Oh, okay. It's definitely them. Sources with direct knowledge tell TMZ the juror alerted the court on Friday about the text message and a phone number. He didn't recognize him, asking if he was juror 6, who'd already been in the news as someone the judge might dismiss. We told this other juror wanted the judge to know about the mysterious text, and indeed, Judge Submaranian had a lot of questions about him for the message and the phone number which it came from. Our sources say although the juror did not recognize the number, the judge has concerns he might be discussing the trial with people who aren't on the jury. So basically, there's another juror, it's not juror 6, he got dismissed. He gets a text message saying, yo, bro, you on the jury, ain't you? He brings this to the court's attention. But of course, like Randall from Recess, sometimes when you start volunteering information, they start looking at you weird. So they're like, wait, why would they want to text you? How do they know you're in a thing? Are you been talking to people? Here's the thing. That was a private conversation. I was in the robing room with Diddy's lawyers and prosecutors that were present. They were talking to the juror. How did this get out to people? How did this get out to TMZ? Either Diddy's team or the Fed's team, right, put this out. While Judge Submaranian has not sequestered the jury, by the way, when he sequesters them, they cannot go home. They will go to a specific place to rest, but they cannot go back to their residence, okay? They get to go home every day up until now. They've been instructed not to discuss the case with anyone or read any news about it, okay? So it says someone getting called into the principal's office. When it's all said and done, there's a second alternate juror that might be called to decide Diddy's fate. So here's the thing. How did this was a private meeting. Court reporter, Diddy's lawyers, prosecutors, juror, judge. How did they find out? Somebody leaked it to TMZ. I think it's a prosecutor. Here we go.
he was not happy, and he said it potentially could be a contempt issue. So we'll see what happens, but this will most likely be brief as well, because we've spent most of the day, or we have spent actually the day so far, on Agent Pendler, who is the special agent for the government, and she finished her direct examination, and we went over let's see, more travel itinerary for Jules Theodore, who was one of the escorts. This is August of 2009. We saw an LA to NYC flight itinerary, London hotel reservations, and then we saw all of these charges on Diddy's Amex pertaining to this one trip and the flights, etc. And his bill, I didn't mention this yesterday, but they said a lot of his monthly bills, or they showed us his monthly bills, and his monthly bills range from $218,000 to almost $1 million. It was like $989,000, and this is all on one Amex. Then we got to September 2014, where we saw Clayton Howard, aka Dave, that's another escort, his flights and hotel records. And this was a flight from JFK in New York to LA. He stayed at the Four Seasons, and we saw the room reservation, Frank Black, everything that has corroborated what we've seen before. And for this, then there was another trip that they mentioned in July, and this was Jules flying from LA to New York, and we saw that he stayed in a hotel near the Hamptons. It was actually Riverhead, which I was wow, I'm like Riverhead, which is not quite the Hamptons. Riverhead is kind of near the North Fork, and they put him up at a Hilton Garden Inn. And they made sure the government made sure to say, okay, Riverhead, that's near where? Long Island. And the Hamptons are where? Long Island. So maybe hinting that he was there for a summer Diddy party. Who knows? And then, we saw an invoice from the La Hermitage Hotel, where we saw damages that were charged to Diddy's Amex for the carpet and the drapes, about $500. And okay, I didn't have a chance to ask any other reporters in the room this, but I could have sworn I saw an Intercontinental New York charge for damages for $46,000. Now, I feel like maybe I read this wrong because nobody seemed fazed by this. So I'm like, did I get this information wrong? I'm going to have to go back and see, but I swear I saw a $46,000 damage charge, and this was this was October 2012, and this was the same month that Diddy's Amex, his bill for that month was $944,000.
What? Oh, Diddy got bread. Diddy got bread. Chat, is there something clinically wrong with me that even in the middle of a sex trial, I'm still pocket watching? I'm like, because for me, I'm like, how much money did this nigga have to keep all this shit going? His Amex bill? $900,000 for the month.
I didn't have a chance to ask any other reporters in the room this, but I could have sworn I saw an Intercontinental New York charge for damages for $46,000. Now, I feel like maybe I read this wrong because nobody seemed fazed by this. So I'm like, did I get this information wrong? I'm going to have to go back and see, but I swear I saw a $46,000 damage charge, and this was October 2012.
Why was there a $46,000 damage charge by Diddy? Hold on, let's figure this out, chat. I gotta see what Diddy was paying for. Diddy 46. I'm searching the amount. Let's see. Oh, wait, here we go. 46. What did 46 at? It's a traveler invoice. What are these Amex charges? Okay, hold on. We could probably figure it out. Okay, there's a fine, $500 for drapes. Okay, here we go. What's this? Booking for the Intercontinental Hotel in Times Square in the name of Frank Black. And this charge, it was damage to the penthouse. $47,000. The monthly bill was paid for by various accounts at Signature Banks. What? $46,000? Chat, we're going to have to read through this. Yeah, like, as much as we love Lauren Conlin, Logic, we need every fucking detail. We won't rest until we get every detail. So we're going to have to read this for ourselves, even though, because I was thinking the summaries were going to be more inclusive of information we might need. No, we need everything. Holy.
And this was the same month that Diddy's Amex, his bill for that month was $944,000 basically. So I will go back and double check on that. But if that is a damage charge, that is insane. So I feel like that can't be right, but I'm throwing it out there just in case you hear it elsewhere. And like I said,
yeah, Inner City Press said it was $46K for the damage to the penthouse. That's what he said. $46K damage to the penthouse. Yeah. Wow.
I will correct myself later on. Okay. Oh, and then I think the biggest part of the morning was these charts and these graphs pertaining to March 5th, 2016, the entire timeline around the LA Intercontinental Hotel with Cassie and the beating. So it basically went from Cassie communicating with Garen from Cowboys and Angels, getting an escort. You know, this is the day of. She's communicating with this escort named Skylar. And then we go through the morning where the late evening to the early morning where he's kind of like, do you need me or do you not need me? And then it kind of skips to Cassie getting a crap ton of missed calls from Diddy. And at this point, the missed calls started around 11:28 a.m. And we know that the beating in the hallway took place, this is on my hair, around 11 a.m. So that kind of makes sense. And then we just saw this timeline. We saw the text messages that ensued from there. And then we saw when Christina Courtroom got involved. And she also was texting another assistant, Eli Marone, to get this footage. He got involved. Then we saw D-Rock get involved. He was texting between KK, Cassie, and Diddy, all these different texts. And then we saw Carrie Morgan get involved because we know that Carrie Morgan was at Cassie's home when Cassie got home from the incident. And at one point we saw a text from Cassie to Christina Courtroom saying something like, can you tell him to stop? This is around 2:30 p.m. that day because the neighbors are going to call the police. And we had already heard testimony previously about him trying to get into the house with a hammer and the cops being called to her house. And again, just more back and forth where KK begs Cassie to talk to Diddy. She, she sent some texts here and there, but she sent, I don't remember if we saw this one text, but she basically said, I have arguably the biggest night of my career, meaning the Perfect Match premiere. And she said, of my life, and I have a black eye and a fat lip. You are sick for thinking you can do this to me. Please stay away from me. And then later on, I think it was the next morning, the day after, we actually saw a text from Diddy to D-Rock saying, how is she? And I think at this point, Cassie was at D-Rock and his wife April's house. And D-Rock said she's okay. She's eating breakfast. Her face don't look bad. She's smiling and laughing. Call her. And in between all of this, March 6th is when the calls from Diddy to Eddie Garcia started, the back and forth there. And we went through all of those calls. And then the last call from Sean Combs to Eddie Garcia, kind of closing the loop on this night, was March 25th, 2016, which we know was Easter because he testified that he got a call from him on Easter. Eddie Garcia, I mean. And then Tenny Garrigo started her cross. And I appreciate Tenny's cross because she really sounds like a girlfriend. Like you're just talking to one of your girlfriends, but then she kind of like lays it on. So she was talking to the special.
That's been her style the whole time. Even also Anna Marie Estavio did the same thing. Remember, she notoriously complimented Cassie before exposing her.
Agent, and she's like, so you've been a special agent for 10 years, et cetera, et cetera. Your job is to go through all of these files, ensure accuracy, even though you did not work on this case. Like you were not a part of this task force, you didn't make any arrests, et cetera. And she said, yeah. Well, Tenny points out a part of one of the charts where it shows Cassie's name and Diddy's name everywhere except for this one box, but it kind of insinuates that this one box does involve Cassie and Diddy, and Tenny points it out that during this time, Cassie, it was December 8th, 2015, Cassie was in South Africa. And there were also text messages between Christina Courtroom and an assistant, I believe was Eli, where she said, they are gone, like you can go clean up the hotel now. And Tenny was just like, so do you know who was with Mr. Combs at the hotel? Did you try to find out? Did you try to do any other research here to find out who quote unquote they is? Or because Cassie's not in the country. And she just said, no, I just looked at the evidence I was given. I didn't do any other digging. And Tenny was like, oh, and you've been a special agent for 10 years? And she's like, yeah. So there was a lot of back and forth about that. And then Tenny played video clips from some of the same videos that they saw yesterday, which were Freakoff videos. Like I said, there was some reactions, but she played different clips. And one of the clips was about 5 minutes long. And during this clip, I actually saw one of the younger female jurors take some notes. Nobody looked disturbed or upset today. We could kind of hear part of the video until one of the somebody in court, one of the wow, I'm blanking out. One of the federal guys that are in charge, they're just like, yeah, we can hear it. And then all of a sudden they turned it down, or everybody adjusted their headphones and we couldn't hear anything anymore. So yeah, there was a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There was about seven-ish clips played, but yeah, it did not elicit the same type of reactions.
So 7 Freakoff videos played, the longest being 5 minutes, and apparently no one's like, what the fuck? They could hear it. I wish, again, this is not some freak shit chat. Like, we're covering a sex case, so we got to be a little bit mature. I know we get immature here. I'm wondering what they heard in the gallery. Like, are you just hearing moaning? Are you hearing, like, Diddy speak? Like, what the fuck are you hearing in this Freakoff video? Okay. Like, we won't know. Obviously, we won't know, but.
At all. Oh, and then after all the videos were played, I did see one
Nadia, I see you, girl.
female juror make a face like this. Like she's kind of thinking. So Tenny will finish her cross later, and then we will get to Brendan Paul. So I will give you an update later on today.
Okay, good. I think we got, is this logic? I'm super low. It's because I'm leaning back. This is how I was leaning back yesterday. I told you what happened yesterday, right? I went live. I leaned back and my foot fucking hit the power button. I got to sit up a little bit more. Okay. Give me 1 second. Somebody said one of those videos will get leaked. Yo, Nadia, you a straight freak, girl. Nadia trying to watch a Freakoff video. All right. We are going to read the morning tweets, but let's just listen to Elizabeth Milner. What did she have to say?
Travel.
Here we go.
As far as, because they're.
Here we go.
Because pretty much this article, and we're not 100% sure where this article came from, but what we believe it might be is having to do with just something that happened during the sealed proceedings that happened on Friday. And so the judge said that someone kind of spilled the beans about what kind of went on when everyone was kind of kicked out of the courtroom for about a 20-minute period. They locked the courtroom doors and everything to kind of have this sealed proceeding as opposed to doing it in the robing room. And so the defense says they recently became aware of this article, and they were adamant that they were not the source of the leak, and then the same with the prosecution. But really, it seemed like the judge was kind of taking issue up specifically with Maureen Comey and Mark Agnifilo, because they're the leaders of both sides, right? Maureen Comey representing the prosecution, and then Mark Agnifilo being kind of the leader of the defense team or lead counsel, just on both sides. And so he said, on the extreme side of things, that
this is not a wig. Who says she need a new wig? This is her. I think this is her natural hair, right? Anytime I see wig, I be looking around the edges. Nah, this is her natural hair. Yo, chat, I gotta, leave black women alone, man. I gotta get on my Dr. Umar. She looks fine. Bro, we're not looking at her for baddie vibes, bro. We just want, she talks coherent enough for me. I just want to hear the info. Y'all trying to, get bricked up over Elizabeth Milner, bro? Chill, dog. Just wait for Lauren. Y'all can get bricked up over her. No, I'm playing.
That someone violated the court's sealing order, but also if they're kind of on notice as far as just finding out who is responsible for this. And they said
it's a little weave. It's okay. She got to get up every day and go to court. Let her live.
They being the judge said the most extreme kind of action that he could possibly take is criminal contempt charges. So he's taking this very serious, and he seems very, he did seem very kind of annoyed about just this whole leak that had happened. Again, we don't know 100% sure what the article was and verify that this article was the in fact article, but we believe it might have been one that came out, just recently from a media outlet talking about what went down during the court proceedings that were sealed or were supposed to be sealed on Friday.
Yeah, we have a lot of questions about that. I mean, you pretty much answered it. We had a question from RSS. Can you ask Elizabeth?
Chat, Elizabeth Milner looks fine. Again, she gives us the information we need. There's so many other people. I know some of y'all in here want to get bricked up at this shit. Y'all see pictures of Cassie, obviously not being sexual, but like we look at her Instagram, we look at Jane Doe's Instagram. There's a lot of beautiful other women. If you don't feel she's beautiful, I like the fact that she talks very coherently. I get what she's saying. I get her POV. I think Lauren is beautiful as well, but she also talks coherently. That's it, brother. Like, yo, how y'all want to get bricked up at every female? God damn it.
Be watching, and what's the reaction to watching these tapes?
Somebody said Lauren Crimes hates Diddy. Do you think their POV is anti-Diddy? That's kind of interesting. Unc is pro-Diddy. Do you think I think Lauren Crimes might be a little bit anti, right? Where do you think Lauren falls? Do you think Lauren is anti-Diddy or pro-Diddy?
Yeah, so they have been watching the sexually explicit tapes, the Freakoff tapes that had happened whenever Diddy was in a relationship with Cassie Ventura. And they were kind of bringing it out in correlation to the text message exhibits that we saw. And we were kind of like, where is this kind of going? And I think it might be to kind of show possibly in just another way that Cassie might have been in control during these particular tapes. And it was played kind of a lot today. And so what happens inside the courtroom is that all the jurors wear headphones, so we're not able to see this or hear this on the open speakers. The exhibit where the gallery is kind of shown these exhibits, the exhibit screen, I should say. Sorry, everyone, if I'm talking too fast. I had too much Celsius during one of the breaks because it was one of those days. But as far as just the jury's reaction to everything, they have been very professional as far as just kind of watching these really kind of graphic and sexually explicit videotapes. But I will say there was this one juror on the end, and I think he was the same juror that was moved from an alternate to now being kind of one of the main jurors.
Okay, and I know I told you guys to lean out of this, but am I the only person? There's an attractive trait about every woman for me is like seeing them like, maybe I'm too like indoctrinated and I see modern women talk like Sexy Red. I just think that's so disgusting. Like that's part of the reason I don't like women from New York. Women from New York sound like men. Women, I'd rather them either sound sexy or intelligent. I love an intelligent woman. Like that's half the reason why I like Lauren. And also, I like this girl too because she seems intelligent. Even if her POV don't agree with mine. I like women who could speak. You feel what I'm saying? Like, speak, motherfucker. You ever been around a chick and you're like, just shut up here, please. Every time she opens her mouth, you're like, oh. I like intelligent women.
I should say. I will say it seemed like he couldn't take his headphones off fast enough in terms of just, they were playing these videos kind of at 2-minute increments or 3-minute increments, which is a long time to kind of watch these sexually explicit videos, especially in open court. But I did see him kind of take his headphones off pretty quickly, thinking that it was over. Then Tenny Garagos was like, okay, on to the next one. And it just seemed like it was played for a long duration of time. To me, it felt like forever. To them, it might have been just like 20 or 30 minutes. But for the most part, they kind of had no reaction beyond just kind of, I think, wanting it to be over. And then they went to lunch break. So it's a great way to introduce them.
Okay, chat, let me read through this morning text, and then we're going to have to get to the afternoon. But it looks like if I don't read through this, we're going to miss out on certain things. And again, I know you guys really trust me with getting you every ounce of detail. And I do think we do a pretty good, complete job of getting all the information here. So I'm going to make sure we don't skip or cut corners. I don't care if it's uneventful day. Okay, so it starts off, look like what we do miss is this reaming out by the judge. So the judge gets mad at both sides saying, yo, one of y'all is leaking info. How the hell did my private meeting with y'all and the juror get put out by a news outlet, which we now believe is TMZ? You guys can be the judge on who does it, right? All pun intended. And so basically, they give Brendan Paul immunity. So he's supposed to take the stand. He's supposed to take the stand at the end of today. But for now, we're going to have this guy back on, or I think it's a guy. It's actually Agent Penland. Is Penland a guy or a girl? It might be. I don't know. Anyway, so they bring Diddy in. Diddy actually waived his right to be there to watch Brendan Paul take immunity. Remember, Brendan Paul was the guy who was boarded the private jet with the drugs for Diddy. So Diddy's actually reviewing some materials in the back. He didn't come out yet. He requested via the marshals, hey, give me a second. I'm looking at these things before you bring me out. They give immunity to Brendan Paul. Then he comes out. Juror comes out. Penland comes out. That's the witness. And here we go. So it's all rise. Juror enters. So it's a good morning. Let's get back to the London hotel. Who stayed there on this day? They're showing random days. Penland says, this is Sean Combs, Cassie, and Jules. Okay? They said, what are these Amex charges? They said, that's Virgin America. That's a plane ticket for Jules. Remember, this is a summary witness that's trying to help prove that this was pretty much an organization. It's an enterprise, right? And it's definitely sex trafficking because you're going to show travel records going from state to state to state. What airline is associated with this charge? American Airlines from JFK to LA. And the hotel, Four Seasons, for Clayton Howard, a.k.a. Dave. AUSA says, let's look at 6T108. What is this? So this is a travel invoice. Bad Boy Entertainment. So what is this? So this is a flight for Jules. What's this payment method? The Amex. So I know we all clown Dirk for running everything up on the OTF business card, even though he told him, don't charge none on my card. But it appears that Diddy was running it up on the Bad Boy card, the Amex, okay? Whose name is this invoice in? Mr. Philip Pines. This is a $500 charge for the damage to the drapes. What do y'all think happened to the drapes? Do you think that Diddy or the sex worker came on the drapes or squirted baby oil or Astroglide? Like, why would the drapes be fucked up? Whatever. So what is this? This is a booking for the Intercontinental in Times Square. The name is Frank Black. What's this charge? There was damage to the penthouse. $47,000 paid on the Amex. The monthly bill was paid by various accounts at Signature Bank. What's this charge? This is the hotel in Riverhead. They said, well, where's that? Long Island, New York. They said, is that where the Hamptons is? Agent says, yes. He said, these communications, what's that? It's between Cassie and Sean Combs. It's color-coded. So what's this? They said, this is a call from Combs to Cassie for 41 seconds. Let's read it. Skylar, can you come later? Penland says, let's do Skylar. Then Skylar responds to Ventura. Go to slide 4, please. Skylar texts Ventura, what area? So Skylar might be a prostitute, right? Then Skylar responding, is Skylar a male name or is that a female name? Huh? I'm laying down. Hit me up if we're getting together. So what do these box show? 3 photos taken by Ventura. What day is this? March 6th, 2016. This is right after the beatdown. Walk us through it. Combs calls Ventura. No answer. Ventura texts Combs, says, I checked with security. Jules left. You're good as long as you don't bother the other guests. So basically, Diddy was hitting her up panicking like, yo, I'm about to get arrested. I'm about to get arrested. And I got to be honest, even though I know some of y'all, again, of course, I think Cassie wanted to get some money, 2023. But I do think that during, and this is why I disagree with a lot of y'all, that Cassie did love Diddy. After the beatdown she got, when Diddy was expressing her, blowing her phone up like, yo, I'm going to get arrested, she assures him and calms him down. Yo, Jules left. He's cool. Da-da-da-da. I'm not pressing no charges. Just don't wild out no more. And you can still stay at the hotel and just don't bother no more guests. You're fine, right? So, it said, what Combs texts Ventura? He texts, call me. The cops are here. Then a call connects. So it shows Cassie definitely didn't want Diddy to get locked up. Got to say, hey, as much as you want to say whatever about her, she had loved that man, right? In my opinion. You could say differently. Ventura makes a call to D-Rock. It connects. Combs called Ventura. No answer. Said, what day was that? Then the day before, March 5th, it says, oh, I guess it was the day it happened. It says, you're sick to think it's okay to do what you've done. Please stay away from me. I have a premiere. AUSA says, what does Combs text Ventura? He texts, call me, help. Remember, this is him saying, help. He texts, help, I'm about to get arrested. Then, if you don't pick up, you'll never hear my voice again. Then what happens? There was a call that wasn't answered. Then Christina Karam calls Cassie. Penland says, Ventura calls D-Rock. Then Karam, the call connects. So what does D-Rock text? D-Rock texts, tell him to get out of there before they arrest him. He's not picking up. So what does Ventura text to Combs? She says, I'm going to bed. AUSA says, now what? What did, I guess this is Kerry Morgan. What Kerry Morgan text Karam? Carrie says, I don't think anyone should call her. And a photo of they text her a photo of a LAPD detective business card. So what next? Both of them call her. So they tell her best friend says, don't call her. They both call her. Okay, remember, they're trying to make sure Cassie does not press charges on Diddy, right? D-Rock calls, Karam asks, what is Eddie's last name? Remember, Eddie Diaz, right? I think that's his name, is the guy who, remember, they're trying to pay off. They're trying to pay off. The guy gets $100,000. Flores is a guy who, I guess he thought it was too good for the bread. He turned the money down. The other guy, he gets the bread, right? What did D-Rock text Combs? Yo, Cassie's good. She's eating breakfast. They have a 13-minute call, which is Cassie and Diddy. So what did Mr. Nash, which is Deontay Nash, that's the assistant, write to Ventura? What time can you today? Arturo is available 3 to 4. Ventura says, Rock's place? Now, I don't know if that's like a makeup person. We don't know yet. Okay. Combs called Eddie Garcia. Garcia calls back. Remember, that's the person they pay off $100,000. What did Ventura text? She texts, this was supposed to be a big day for me. Now I wish I could just stay in bed. And here, apparently there's calls between Diddy and Eddie Garcia. He's talking to him saying, we got to make this go away. We got to get me the video. Delete it. I got that money. So what's this? Remember, Garcia had to send a picture of his license and also the license of the first security guard who wouldn't delete it. But he didn't send a picture of the first security's license. He sent the picture of another person's license because he realized the first dude, he was square. So he didn't want to get him back involved now that he's taking the money. The first guy turned the money down. He's too square. By the way, that guy now is a cop. The other security guard is like, shit, we taking this $100,000. He had asked his boss. His boss said, oh shit, we gonna run up that $100,000. And they're like, yo, but he wants my license, your license, and he wants the first guy license. They're like, we can't bring in the first guy on this deal. Let's cut this other nigga in and give his license. Okay? All right. So they get a photo of the license, da-da-da. Now by March 16, what happens? Combs called Eddie. Remember, he called Eddie and he was just like, yo, bro, you know, you're my angel. He had said something like that. You're my angel. That's what Diddy said to Eddie. You're my secret angel or something like that. March 25th, 1 p.m., Combs called Eddie again and said, Agent Penland says, what about these other charges? Did you have an involvement in any case? Nope. No further questions. So AOC is off. They come back from the break. The judge says, Penland, get back on here. The jury, get in here. Garagos, she's doing it. It says, you've been at the SDNY for 10 years, right? Penland says, yes. Let's turn to this date. Did you know that Ms. Ventura was in South Africa then? No. What about this date to this date? Did you try to find who else was in this chat? No. But you're a special agent, right? Yeah. As a special agent, you know how to look for evidence? Objection. Sustained. Let's turn to August 2009 under the name Sean Combs. You have several U.S. exhibits. Let's pull up this one. August 5th, 2009. Combs says, when do you want to freak off, LOL? What does Miss Ventura say? I'm always ready to freak off. Whoa. Garagos says, let's put up this defense exhibit. Miss Ventura writes, I'm so horny I can't concentrate. I'm going to Dwayne Reed. Pack us a bag. Did you include this in your chart? No, I did not. So they're trying to show that this chart is biased. Cassie was oftentimes happy for the freak off, requesting a freak off, saying she's going to get ready for the freak off. They never put it in this summary chart. Remember, this is a summary witness to sum it all up. But because they're agents, they're not going to put in nothing that makes Diddy look good. So what about this? Garagos says, Jules writes to Combs, I need rest. You guys are rabbits, LOL, right? So, god damn, how much fucking are they doing that the sex worker is saying, I need a break. I need a fucking break. The sex worker texts Diddy, y'all are like rabbits. I need a fucking break. Penland says, yes. Garagos says, here, pop. Pop writes to Ventura. So that's Diddy to Cassie. I love you so much. You consume my life. How did this happen? Ventura says, I wonder that too, right? Yep. Garagos says, here Jules writes to Ventura. Great to see you, beautiful. And then I'm at your door, right? Penland says, correct. Garagos says, here Miss Ventura write, I'm horny and I'm bored. Right? Yes. Garrigo says, what about this? Mr. Combs says to Ms. Ventura, I'm not asking you for a freak off. What do you want to do? What did she say? She said, I want to smoke, go for a walk. Let's go out, have some carefree fun. I'll go get some Valium. That's what it says, right? Agent says yes. Garrigo says, Mr. Combs, right, I liked it when Jules was in the room next door. Did you include this? No, my job wasn't to add things. It was just to check if what was there was correct. Okay, cool. Garrigo says, Mr. Combs wrote, you horny or sleepy? What did she write? Agent says, both, LOL. So Cassie was with it. Garrigo says, let's shut off the public screens for a second. Let's show these Freakoff videos. They shut it off. They're showing Freakoff videos. They said, everyone's hearing soothing piano music, right? So they start playing. Remember they used to do white noise? They do white noise for the sidebars. But now the Freakoff videos is happening. It's probably sounding like National Geographic up in there. You know what I mean? Like, come on, it's a Freakoff video. Jurors still watching the videos with headphones on. Garrigo says, for the record, Ms. Foster had put it on until minute 14. Cool. Your Honor, should we take our break? How much longer? An hour. I took longer than, and said, all right, now then. Okay, so they have a break. They come back from the break. Garrigo, so you ready to proceed? Garrigo says, as soon as Mr. Combs is out. They bring Mr. Combs from the holding cell. It says, you are conferred about this other matter, right? AUSA says the court can question the juror. We defer. Shapiro says we prefer in the courtroom to the robing room so Mr. Combs could observe. It's all right, we'll get Penland back. Witness retake the stand, all rise. They're watching another exhibit. Garrigo says, this is a stipulation that the video was found under Frank Black's profile on the device provided by Cassie Ventura. Here, Mr. Combs right, coming to New York City. What does Mr. Combs, Ms. Ventura reply? It's really nice here. So remember, if you're wondering what part of the testimony is this is a summary witness, a case agent that went over this stuff to make sure it was accurate. That's what was found on the phones. Anything in the chart or the transcript that they're going to say in court is actual to what's on the device, that someone can't say you misquoted, So they put together these charts to help the prosecution, the AUSAs, to summarize the case. And Diddy's lawyers are coming back to say, yeah, you're summarizing the case, but why you ain't put this other stuff in there that could summarize it, that Diddy is innocent? Cassie's saying she horny. She always down to freak off. She's this, she's that. Why are you not putting that in there? So since you ain't put it in there, let me ask you if these things are accurate. And the case agent has to, because they swore that they went through the case and they reviewed all the evidence and verified that it was accurate. So even if it's not in their chart, they got to say, hey, is this accurate? Yes. Okay, read it. And they have to read, it's really nice here by Cassie, right? Garrigo says, Mr. Combs, right, I got ticks for us for the Book of Mormon. Why you didn't put that in the exhibit? It said, yeah, it's not in there. Garrigo says, he writes, you ready for tonight? That's the day before these videos that we looked at, right? Agent says, correct. Garrigo says, if we could pull up what's already in evidence, page 18, please, right? Why you ain't include this in your chart? Yeah, I didn't include it. Cassie writes, I keep having sexy flashbacks of yesterday. Did you see that? She says, yes. Garrigo says, what did Miss Ventura write? Penland says, she writes, I bought the best sexy outfits for later. And shoes. Wow, okay. What did she write after that? She writes, I promise. So this is Cassie. Cassie said, I promise I will be the nastier freak bitch to make up for it. So this is how Cassie was talking to Diddy. Garrigo says, what does Miss Ventura write here? Penland says, she writes, I can't buy Astroglide. It's too expensive. When should I take it? Where is it? Wait, Astroglide is too expensive? Huh? Garrigo says, Mr. Combs right. It's in the bag. It's the orange pill. Okay. All right. We getting up there, Chad. Garrigo says, what does Miss Ventura write here? She writes, I can't wait till we have a... Oh, there we go. There we go. I told you it's always a baby. Cassie says, I can't wait until we have a baby. Chat, remember my theory? That baby Diddy had with Dana Tran hurt Really, I keep telling you, Young Miami fucked up the whole thing, but the baby was number 2. When they see Diddy had a baby, remember these chicks, all they wanted was a baby. I ain't gonna lie to you, chat. I almost blocked like 5 hoes yesterday. This is TMI. On Sunday, I mean. Was that Father's Day? I had a couple bitches text me Happy Father's Day. I'm like, bitch, get the fuck out of my phone. Happy Father's Day. Blocked. Get out of here, man. Tell me no fucking Happy Father's Day. I ain't got no kids. I ain't got no fucking kids. Fuck you tell me Happy Father's Day for. So anyway, but that's manipulation. Anytime I see a chick start texting Happy Father's Day, that's manipulation, okay? So, Cassie would text Diddy, Happy Father's Day. I can't wait till we have a baby. We have a baby. I told you, chat. She was working hard for that kid. She was working hard for that baby batter. For real. She just wanted Diddy to leave one in her. I told y'all, if Diddy had gotten her pregnant, no lawsuit. None, not one. You feel what I'm saying? Somebody said, Ak, you're probably a father. Don't worry, I'm going to have my Drake reveal soon. I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm going to tell you soon, but not yet. Anyway. Oh, man. Okay. Garrigo says, Mr. Combs right. What do you want to do, baby? She writes, I wish we could have freaked off before you left. Garrigo says, what does Miss Ventura write? She writes, I hate that I don't use protection when I get high. I'm going to get tested. Wow. You see how they elicited that? Like it was her decision. She says when she gets high, she don't want to fuck with condoms. Fuck a condom. That goes against the government's case saying Diddy forced her to fuck men without a condom. She's admitting, when I get high, I don't want no condoms involved. Let's do it raw. So she says, I'm going to get tested. Garrigo says, Mr. Combs right. Let's freak off now. What does she write? She writes, okay, what hotel? Holy. Holy. It's getting out of hand, Chad. It's getting out of hand. Hold on.
Them to lunch, right, Jesse?
Right, I was just thinking that. That's, not the most
The story of Akadon? Oh, y'all crazy.
appealing thing before you go off to lunch. But look, this is a tough case. Tough case to sit on and a tough case to hear all this evidence. Okay, got a question from Shady Goat. Is Diddy looking concerned in court, or is he his usual arrogant, smug self at the moment?
I wouldn't say arrogant and smug. I will say that from what I've seen of him, it seems like he is kind of wanting to know what the jury's reaction is to seeing these, what we believe to be the Freakoff tapes, the sexually explicit tapes. I did see him kind of looking over to the jury box, maybe to see what their reaction is to seeing these play, especially for the duration and the amount of time that they were played today. But from what I could see of him, it seemed like, especially as they were kind of wrapping up the direct testimony of Delissa Penland and then going into the cross-examination, he was kind of doing what he normally does, kind of taking everything in. Once they were starting to gear up for the cross-examination by Tinny Garrigos, I did see him do kind of the usual thing, passing off notes to his attorneys, that type of sort. But I wouldn't say he's necessarily sitting at the defense table all arrogant and smug. Not at all.
Yeah, there's a lot of questions about Diddy's demeanor. Alexander Mateo, what is Diddy's demeanor like today, knowing that such graphic videos are being viewed by the jury? Madhavi Dasi, sending warmth from India, asks, what was Diddy's reaction to the judge's question to the defense about information being leaked? So when all that was going on that you mentioned, how was Diddy reacting?
Yeah, so sorry, everyone. There's about to be an ambulance passing. So, Jesse, if you could filibuster for me for like 10 seconds.
I'm going to filibuster. I'm going to filibuster with great comments to you. We got a question, a great comment from El Spelunker who says, Elizabeth Fan Club in the chat. We got another one who says, this is from Sam. Elizabeth, you have such a calming nature and voice. You need to bring out your own podcast. You are a natural. So look at this. Love for Elizabeth. When the defense was talking about information being leaked, that whole issue at the beginning, what was Diddy doing?
I couldn't get a good gauge on just his reaction to everything. Like, I couldn't tell if he was confused, if he possibly knew about this. And so I couldn't really tell either way just what his reaction truly was. It seemed like everyone was a little on edge this morning when the judge was kind of, and I hate to use the word admonish because a lot of people have been using that word to describe the kind of talk to that the judge was giving both sides this morning.
By the way, have y'all noticed this, chat? Remember the lead, oh my God, fuck. No. Damn.
Tenny Garagos response.
Wait. Fuck. I lost my spot. Hold on. I'm gonna find it. Here we go.
Let me bring.
Fortunately, I'm not able to get what their reaction. For the most part, I think it's kind of across board in terms of just how of that kind of type of what they're kind of able to.
It's all good. I found it. Don't worry. I'm wired off coffee right now, chat. I'm good. And I ain't drinking no more alcohol because we got to. What time I said I'm streaming today till 7? So I
book travel is not book these hotel rooms.
Yo, and have y'all noticed? Check this out. Real talk. Have y'all noticed? Mark Ignifilo is the lead attorney. But I'm gonna be honest with you. Other than motions before the jury comes out, the jury has seen the least of him. They've seen more of Brian Steele. Brian Steele has cross-examined multiple witnesses. Nicole Westmoreland, shout out to that beautiful black woman. She's done an amazing job. We obviously know Tenny. Tenny's over there dropping Tenny's moving like Shay Gillichrist, like doing crazy shit, going crazy. She's doing her thing. Obviously, her father is also there watching her. She's doing good. But Mark Ignifilo, and I'm wondering if Diddy may have kept him on as a project manager. Anybody in corporate would know what I'm talking about. You the project manager? You the project manager of the case, but you ain't the litigant. Because I'm going to be honest with you, there's no main witnesses he's taken. He ain't taken none of the main witnesses. We seen Brian Steele. Remember, it was Brian Steele's job to expose a couple people. So I'm wondering, is it because of his previous, remember when he went on the interview and he said, maybe he got the baby oil from Costco, and we're like, oh my God, did he fire this nigga, bro? Please fire him. Come on, you got to get him out of here. He hasn't done much work. Again, he's still the lead. He's dealing with motions, right? He's still dealing with these issues. I'm not saying he's not doing work. He is doing work. But really, his number 2, Tenny, and granted, this is a sex case. So, they usually say in a sex case, it looks way better when a woman is arguing for you than a dude. You know what I'm saying? You have a dude up there like, nah, man, you wanted that dick? Be like, yo, brother, you're creepy too, right? It sounds bad. You wanted that dick? You wanted the freak off? That sounds crazy. Tenny is hitting these chicks with the, come on, girl, you look so pretty. Damn. So tell me about when, you heard what Milner said. Tenny is talking to these women like they're girlfriends. Like, it's like girl talk. You know what I mean? It hits different for the jury. Hits different. So I'm wondering why Mark Ignifilo's role has really got reduced, bro. He's the lead. He gets brought into the roving room. They usually ask him, but Tenny is the one she's really the lead. Anyway, let me just
supposed to feel new, but it does feel like the same messages that we've seen weeks before or even just recently that are just being shown to the jury over and over again.
Elizabeth, got a question from Naturally Now. Any difference between how the men and the women jurors react to these videos? And that, by the way, thanks for amazing reporting. So there you go, another fan from Naturally Now.
Well, thank you so much. But as far as just the difference between the male and the female jurors, I'm not seeing much. And here's the issue of that. Where I'm sitting inside the courtroom is kind of like a little of an obstructed view, mainly because of the giant exhibit screen. And I normally sit by the giant exhibit screen because I have bad eyesight. And so I really need to be able to see what we're seeing in terms of these exhibits. And so from what I've seen of just the female jurors, they kind of turn in an...
Hey, yo, back on Fig, man. You see, this is what I want to do to y'all. Now y'all got y'all slave master Adam hitting me like, I'm getting on stream. I see you about to get on their ass. See, I'm not even trying to get on y'all ass. Y'all was getting your ass whipped by Adam. Now Adam is texting me. He want me to finish y'all niggas. He want me to finish y'all. See, I don't do missions like that. That's what I'm trying to say. Y'all boxing out of y'all lead. Y'all arms. Well, first of all, one of y'all arms don't work. Okay? When it comes to the TDE West Coast niggas, it's like I'm beefing, it's a Special Olympics. I'm beefing with one guy that I can't see. I'm beefing with one guy with one arm. I'm beefing with another nigga with one leg. Nobody that's able-bodied. And they're telling me about getting pressed. One nigga can't see. One nigga got one arm. One nigga is like limping. He limping. He look like he crip walking every time he walk. These are the people that want to come get at me. Not even an able-bodied motherfucker. Now we get the slave master, Adam, because he put these boys, he put the whip to them. You feel what I'm saying? You know I gaslight them niggas to go start their own shit. Now I hear one bankrupt. I don't know what's going on over there. I don't know what's going on. Big Act giving out loans. Big Act is still giving out loans. I know Adam won't do it, but Big Act is just go on the website. Just go on the website. Back on Fig, your arms ain't long enough to box with the guard. Keep going at whoever the fuck y'all be going at and deal with Adam. Adam was being nice to y'all. I'll get y'all finished in a calendar week. It might be the hottest week and the last week for y'all. Okay? Y'all got to think about this. Just remember, even mentally, we not on the same stratosphere. Nigga, let me just remind y'all stupid ass niggas what happened in case you forgot. In case you forgot, this is why y'all should have never, ever spoken about me in a bad light. In case you forgot. And talking about pulling up on niggas, remember, we ain't see you niggas pull up on nobody yet. Let me tell you, the first time I pulled up. Hold on. No. We got to go back. I got to type it in, but yeah. Where's the episode? I think I went to Reboom. I ain't gonna lie. Where's the, listen, the day, when I walked into No Jumper that day, I can't find the episode. Y'all found the episode. I went to No Jumper, it was like years ago. The first thing I said to myself, this building will never be the same when Ak walk out of here. Y'all can't let a fucking quasi. I went up in there. I seen a T-Rail nigga. He was gassed. I told him he was Charlemagne. I said, you give me Charlemagne vibes. What? Gassed. I said, good. I like this. This nigga think he's cooking with steam. Perfect. Now I just got to get them to now believe that they're worth more than Adam is paying them. Because I know the white man ain't never going to give you too much. Gassed them off of that. It was 3 months later, they're like, we're quitting. We're quitting. Peace. I'm like, you know what the funny thing is? Them niggas quit. I was on the phone with Adam. I'm like, yo, they dumb as shit. Ask Adam. I promise you, I swear. Nigga, I did the same shit to Ruri and Millie Moore. That shit happened. Me and Joe was on the phone like, yo, they dumb as shit, bro. Yo, let me tell you this. Y'all, first of all, Smack is like half retarded. Y'all can't add up y'all mental capacity and intellect to fuck with a nigga like me. Okay? Y'all got to stay with Adam. Nigga, I fucked up the good thing you had going on. I fucked up the good thing y'all got going on. Nigga, I put y'all on unemployment like that. What's that episode? I gotta find it. It's way back in the day. When I went there, and 80, I fuck with you. So stay out of this one. Say about you. You weren't even there that day when I went. I looked to my right. I seen the T-Rail nigga. I looked over here. I looked at Adam. And I said, Adam, I make sure this nigga think he's bigger than what he is. Hold on. Where's the fucking It's like from 10 years ago. When did I show up in there? Somebody got... This is shit so old. Akademiks episode. Oh, House Phone was there. Oh, yeah. You got the horniness and the fuck. This was the moment I said, yo, Adam, y'all tell me if I'm wrong. When I showed up there this day, T-Rail's ego was out the Richter scale. He was done. So I knew I got him. House phone popped up, but house phone gave me good vibes. We were cool. Straight. You feel me? Me and Adam, chess plays. Chess plays. Let me tell you this. Here's the reality of it. I learned, remember that when I went, this is before I even bought the house. Remember when I went crazy on Adam? I had to acknowledge, I said, listen, me and Adam, we gonna be in this shit forever. The rest of you niggas, we get you out of here when we want. So I said, I just gotta teach Adam a lesson. Don't play with me. Don't play with me. I'm the worst thing to play with. But we're always gonna have a level of understanding and respect. You got to. It's two giants. You get what I'm saying? But the rest of you niggas, let me tell you this. I'm gonna tell every podcast. If y'all invite me to y'all podcast and one of you hosts been taking shots at me, y'all got 6 months before that nigga either quit or get fired. The only person who I think is better than me than that, is Whack 100. Whack will spin the fuck out of you. But right here, I was like, without this moment, Back on Fig don't even exist. I don't want to hear no more conversation. End it. Stop it. Just stop it. Without this moment, there's no Back on Fig. He'd be clocking in. No overtime. Feel me? Without this moment, there's no Back on Fig. I want to remind y'all, this is why y'all should mind y'all business. Without this, I created Back on Fig. I want to be very honest. I walked in there, and by the way, I'll tell you why. This is right after, I think, I remember Adam was trying to like interview Angelica, and I'm like, hold on now, nigga. You don't want to do this with me. That's before me and Angelica became besties again. Me and Angelica are besties. Okay? Shout out to Angelica. But I went up in there and I said, I'm gonna fuck this shit up. Worked! When I get up these days, I don't even know why Adam be beefing with him. Nigga, I looked up. This is why I said I'm blaming Graham for all this. I looked on their page today, and this shit was abysmal. I was like, 500 views 2 days ago. Then I realized, hold on. The only thing that got over like 10,000 views is Akademiks turns down the TDE fade. Hold on, I gotta zoom in that y'all can see it. So that's why I was like, nah, don't give him the stimmy. But I said, I wouldn't be me if I didn't do it. I wouldn't be, look right above it. 500. 28,000. 500. Okay, I can't lose my voice. Chat. I know Adam was taking it easy on y'all Back on Fig, but I think I created y'all. And if you got a good mama, a good daddy, I brought y'all into this world and I'll take y'all out. Leave me alone. I brought y'all into this world and I'll take y'all out. Y'all would have been still at motherfucking no jumper if it wasn't for me. I brought y'all into this world and Big Act will take y'all out. Okay? It's the facts. Keep beefing with y'all slave master. All right? Adam, you can't let Kunta and them run off and not come back. You got to get them in. What's your Toby? All right, my bad. All right. Anyway, it's just jokes. No, as they said, it's just You see, y'all not even good at the content game like me to go content for content. That's the thing I was trying to tell y'all. Y'all can't try to content up. Like, y'all not even good at street shit. Y'all not even good at the street shit enough to make it content. Nigga, I'm the best at content. The greatest ever. Anyway. Adam, you owe me some money if I put the final nail in the coffin for them, all right? Because I know you've been waiting. Oh, my God. All right, anyway. But yeah, this is how I created Back on Fig right here. I created it. I'm daddy. Y'all were happy punching into a job, and I came in there and gaslit you like I should. because I was tight at Adam a little bit. Gaslit you. And I watch it foster, and every time you had beef, I reacted to it, and how'd y'all call in? Yo, come on, call in. What? Adam did what? Yo, I'll pay you niggas like $1 billion. Just come over here. Just come over here. I looked up. Yo, we quit and we could do better by ourselves. What? Perfect. Chat. Sorry. I'm sorry. The chat is undefeated. I'm sorry. So please, back on Fig. Get back on y'all job. Keep doing your thing. But please, punch within your league. Please, punch within your league. Please. Please. Okay? All right. I think that second one was worse than the first.
Angle where I can't see their face. Really, I'm just kind of seeing their back. So unfortunately, I'm not able to get what their reaction is in terms of just seeing, especially these, Freakoff tapes and those types of things. But for the most part, I think it's kind of across board in terms of just how professional they all have been. I don't think anybody's been giggling or kind of, shielding their eyes or any of that sort, or taking off their headphones too early, but also taking off the
I got that Pusha T song. Chat. Yo, everybody getting smoked. Well, not for me. Yo, you heard what Pusha said about Travis? Yo, Travis, at some point, you gotta slap a nigga, bro. Niggas have been playing with Travis for like 3 years straight. Travis, example time. You heard what Pusha said? They sent me the song now. They just sent me the song. Full song. I don't know if it's already out. It probably is.
Headphones when I think they're kind of tired of hearing enough of what they're hearing and having to listen to.
All right, Elizabeth. Well, I'll tell you what. We're gonna send you back. I know that you have a lot more reporting to do for the day. By the way, Elizabeth's gonna be on with me later when we do a full daily recap on Sidebar, everything that happened during today's testimony, because this is just the middle of the day. I mean, Elizabeth, real quick, do you think they're gonna go to 5 today? I mean, yesterday they ended kind of early. Do you know if they're gonna go till 5? Because I think if they need a little bit more time with this summary witness.
Fuck that. Let's get to that Travis Scott shit right now. Let's get to it. Yo, chat, I ain't gonna lie to you. I low-key kind of did fuck with back on Fig. I hate to have to do it, but it's like, you see, here's my thing. I don't do like these West Coast podcasters do. No selective politicking. Anybody who talks shit about me, I gotta give you the same fade I would give to anybody else. I don't do the, oh yeah, he said everything, we had a nice conversation, everything, blah, blah. Nah. I gotta treat y'all like my bastard kids. Me, no Diddy, but me and Adam gonna have to go to court over y'all. Cause he think he your pops. He your slave master. I'm your pops. I'm daddy. I'm Big Daddy. Pause. No Diddy. All right, get back. Let me see. Where we at with him? Oh, the Travis Scott shit. Oh my God. Okay. So look. So Pusha T. Oh, look at this. Oh my God. Now this is about the 4th time Travis getting what they call on the West Coast marked out. You feel me? I don't like it. I don't like this shit at all. Pusha T calls Travis a whore when he dissed him on the song, and he said he felt disrespected when Travis played Utopia. Oh, Travis played Utopia to him without playing Drake's Meltdown verse, which dissed Pharrell. Yo, Travis, man. Travis. Just pick up a stick, gang. You know what you've been doing, Travis. Travis, this is about the 3rd time niggas is calling you out for doing some sucker shit, nigga. Travis Scott, Future, like that. Remember, he was like, yo, play that song. It's my favorite song. That's the song dissing your mans. Look. Remember when he was trying to get him to, look.
Just play that.
How you going, if Drake your mans, y'all got all this shit together, why are you asking him to play the song that diss your mans? What's going on?
Please, bro. I'm sorry, bro. Metro's trying to get out of here.
He said, please play it. Yo, chat, sometimes your op really be on your biggest song. Sometimes you on your song with your biggest op. How is Travis, this is before we heard like that, he's begging them, play the song that disses Drake. Play it. Please play it. I'm like, what?
the album right now, nigga. Y'all get the dinner.
Oh no. Oh no. Anyway. So just that type of snake behavior. Not saying he's a snake, because I like Travis, but come on, bro. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Keep in mind, Travis as well try to do the shit with Tory Lanez. Look. Travis Scott, Tory Lanez. Was that rolling loud? Look.
World Star!
He pulled up on Tory. Tory kept it a bean. Yo, I wrote for some of these niggas. That's why you say they sound like me. Like, I wrote for them. Travis ain't like that. Travis came with 15 bodyguards. But here's the thing. What I tell y'all, chat? What I tell y'all? You can't press niggas with bodyguards because the bodyguards are just there. You know how Tory's son ended the whole convo? What we doing? We apologizing and catching the fade. What's popping? Like, what? Nothing else. Look. I ain't gonna lie to you. Bad. Yo, you can see Tory put his hand on the shoulder type shit, like, you know? Like, why Tory's energy like that? Look, you're gonna see a hand get on the shoulder. Oh, nah. Oh, nah, Tory. And, I mean, Tory ultimately went to jail, but Tory then doubled back after this and tried to fuck Kylie in Travis Scott's pool. He might have to shoot Tory.
I said, yo, my nigga, you a legend for making your song. At the end of the day, nigga said I sound like something, my nigga. I said what I said. If you felt the way and you want to handle it the way you want to handle it, that's why we here right now. So I'm saying, what do you want to do, bro? No. Are we apologizing or are you want to shoot the fade, my niggas? I'm just trying. Everybody can get out of here. Every single.
Sir, are you apologizing or shooting the fade?
Person can get out of here. Literally every person can get out of here, and we can shoot the fade, my nigga. And we can
everybody get out. Niggas want to fight.
Everybody just get out of here, my nigga. Let's just shoot the fade. Because it seems like you just trying to come at me, my nigga. I'm not for that, my nigga. I'm not for that, my nigga. I'm not for that, my nigga. We can shoot the fade right now.
Oh shit! Why Tory say? Nah, bald Tory is a different demon. Bird nest Tory with the turkey shit. I don't know if that's a demon, but bald Tory when he accepted it that he was bald.
So the Diddy and Cassie situation has been getting freakier and freakier by the day. The more and more I hear about these allegations, Diddy is a freaky man, the king of the freak-offs. And Cassie, you feel me, she was young, vulnerable. But like what Ak said, she could have left. Like, Diddy was not holding her well. You know, this is what's hard for me. Allegedly, Diddy wasn't holding her hostage, but she said on the video that came out in the hotel where he hit her over and drug her back, she was trying to leave one of the freak-offs. And Diddy said, oh no, you're not going to leave the freak-offs. You got it. Yeah. Wait till the dude, bust a nut, allegedly. Then all over you, then scrape it off, go in the other room and rub it on my nipples. That's what he wanted. It sounds so crazy to say, but that's what Diddy wanted. Like, we seen him in the robe. I thought he was just fresh out the shower, but allegedly he was probably butt naked. I'm surprised it was no baby oil on her or him, or she wiped it off. That's why he was so mad it was no baby oil on. Hey man, I genuinely feel bad for Cassie. I feel bad for her husband too, because he has to be in court and he's listening to all these things. And I don't really think Cassie's lying about anything. Like, Cassie just seems like a nice girl, probably like gentle, innocent, like, and she just wanted a career. Like, man, I'm struggling here because I want to be very, very honest about everything, like my point of view. I don't think Diddy was the best of best people, and I think everything he did to Cassie was wrong, and it was definitely manipulative and all that stuff. But like, is it sex trafficking though? Like, this is what he's charged for. Like, domestic violence, yes. Assault, yes. Like, probably a bunch of other crazy stuff, Yes. But sex trafficking, bro, I don't know if you could say he was sex trafficking. But it's only day 2 of the trial. And I'm gonna be very, very unbiased about every single thing I say. It's day 2 of the trial. Diddy is he's there every day. They say that he's looking white as hell, he's gray as hell. He's, you feel me? They said he was looking at Cassie the whole time. But day 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, we don't know what's gonna happen. Maybe 2 weeks later, there might be someone else taking the stand, and we don't know how that's gonna go. Maybe like 3 days later, there's gonna be a new person taking the stand, and they just expose everything about Diddy. Like, we don't know fully everything Diddy's done yet. Like, there might have been men that he was having Freakoffs with. Like, ain't gonna lie, bro. Like, Act was the line about what he said. Diddy should just came out and said that he was a flexible, bro. He should just said he was bisexual, bro. Like, I'm not gonna lie. And what Act said, bro, all these rappers gotta come out who was around Diddy, like really, really hung around Diddy and was like really cool with him. They need to come out and like, yeah, yeah, bro. You gotta defend yourself, your integrity. You feel me? But your boy Big Act News. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. And do you feel like Diddy's innocent, or do you feel like he's guilty? And we're talking about sex trafficking. Like, we're not talking about is he a good person or not. Do you think he's guilty of sex trafficking, Cassie? It's your boy Big Act News, and I'm out.